Okay, today you all welcome to today's lecture. So today we are going to discuss about gaining competitive advantage through information system. So we already identified what is this information system in organizations. Nowadays, we know that the information system doing a major part in every organization. So it's easier our day-to-day works as well as it gives many advantages for all parties in the organization. So today we are going to discuss how we are going to gain competitive advantage through this information system. We already identified who are the parties in this information system. We identify hardware, softwares, data, procedures, as well as people are the main parties in this information system. So, what is this competitive advantage? We all know that in in any industry there are a lot of people who are involving in their businesses. It means we identify in one market there are a lot of competitors who are doing the same business for their different purposes. So we know that there are a lot of competitors, so doing better than our competitors is helps by making service fast and better. So that's how we can enhance or get a competitive advantage. It means we know uh, there are we identify how to gain our advantage through more than our competitor, uh, as well as it may be in production or it can be in the service in the organization. It may be we are doing our best to go beyond our competitor. That's the main idea about this competitive advantage. So how is creates competitive advantage? So support unique offerings and lower cost. So uh, we identify there are types that we can strategies we can use in organization. We identify in cost leadership as well as differentiation as well as niche market. So how is creates competitive advantage to the organization? So we identify we can differentiate our product or service as well as we can use our lower cost method as well as we can use the niche market method. So as an example, we already identified Netflix as well as uh, Netflix versus cable TV. So it supports unique offering and lower cost. So Netflix giving more benefits than this cable TV. We already identified it's giving more channels to our to see as well as it's giving faster time. So those are the advantages when it comes to the competitive. So let's move on to this Porter's five forces. What is this Porter's five force mean? So this model that identifies and analyzes five competitive forces that shape every industry and helps determine an industry weaknesses and strength. So that is the main idea about this Porter's five forces. Uh, so it's is can lower buyer power and threats from new entries. So as an example, online books reduce travel agents' power. So when it comes to the Porter's five forces, you have to identify what is exactly it is. So, Porter's Five Forces is a powerful framework developed by Mitchell E. Porter for analyze the competitive force within an industry. So, it helps businesses assess the intensity of competition as well as profitability and attractiveness of a market. So there are uh, in the uh, Porter's five forces, we can identify five forces. The first force is the threat of new entrance. So it means how easy or difficult it is for new companies to enter the industry and become competitors. So when it comes to the example, so capital requirements, brand loyalty, as well as economies of scales are some kind of barriers that reduce this threat, as well as when it comes to the second force in this Porter's five force is the bargaining power of suppliers. So what is this bargaining power of suppliers? So this is the power suppliers have to drive up price or reduce the quality of goods and services. So if in that industry there are less suppliers, so they have higher power. When it comes to if the industry having a higher supplier, so we can say that it's having a lower power. So that's about the bargaining power of supplier. So the third force that we can identify is the bargaining power of buyers. So what is this? So this bargaining power of buyers is the ability of customer to influence price or demand high quality pricing. So it's main focusing on the pricing or demand of the quality. So more alternatives and low switching cost increase buyer power. So that's about the buyer bargaining power of buyer. So they can demand for high. So the fourth force that we can identify is the threat of substitute product or services. We know that there are a lot of substitute product in the market. So it refers to the product from the outside the industry that can satisfy similar customer need. So those are the alternative products. So high threat if switching cost is lower and alternatives are readily available. So uh, that is about our next force. So the final force that we are going to discuss about is the industry rival. So what is this industry rival? So so the competition among existing players in the industry can be considered is the industry rival. So those are the five main forces we can identify as the Porter's five forces, and let's see how they can apply with the IS or information system. So we can say that information system like customer relationship management, we already discussed about it, as well as enterprise resource planning, ERP system, can create operation efficiency and customer loyalty that increase entry barriers. So it's really help with customer with loyalty, as well as it increase entry barriers also. As an example, we can say that Amazon use its logistic and data systems to make it difficult for new e-commerce platform to compete. So that is a good example when it comes to the our first force of threats of new entrants. So the second force is the bargaining power of supplier. So we identify what is this bargaining power of supplier. So when it comes to the information system application, we can say that the main example is the supply chain management. So systems helps companies manage multiple suppliers as well as reduce dependence and negotiate better. So that is about the our second force, bargaining power of suppliers. For example, we can say that Toyota use information system to monitor and evaluate suppliers globally as well as reduce risk and increase negotiation power. So that is a good example when it comes to the second force of as we identify bargaining power of suppliers. So third force is the bargaining powers of buyer. So we identify what is the bargaining power of buyer. So when there are more alternatives and low switching cost increase buyer power. So when it comes to the information system, we can say that data analytics and customer insight systems helps firms to understand customers' behavior. So it's automatically um, helps in personalized services as well as build the loyalty also. So Netflix is the best example that we can give for this bargaining power of buyer. So Netflix use data to personalize recommendations as well as increase user satisfaction and reduce their uh, uh, turns. So the fourth force we identify is the threats of substitute products or service. We identify what is this substitute products are. So when it comes to the information systems, so information management system or R&D tools can help companies stay ahead by improving existing products or introducing new ones. So it means information systems helping to identify new innovations as well as to R&D tools to uh, compete compete ahead with their competitors. So Apple is one example that we can identify for this. So Apple use its ecosystem and frequent updates to reduce the risk of customers switching to alternative brands. So that's how Apple use these five force threats and substitute product force for their benefits. The fifth or and last force that we can identify is the industry driver. So when it comes to the information system content, we can say business intelligence and competitive analysis tools helps firms to monitor competitors and adapt strategies quickly. So airline is one example that we can give for this industry driver. So airlines use yield management systems to adjust prices in real time based on competitor moves and demand. So when it comes to the information system with five force, so business can strengthen market positions by leveraging data and automation, as well as they can predict and respond to industry trends and competitive pressures. So as well as we can say that it's create competitive advantage as well as such as cost leaderships through automation or differentiation versus personalizations. So not only that, it makes informed strategic decision using real-time data analytics. So we can say that in a five force and IS giving uh, a lot of benefit for the organizations. So that's about these Porter's five forces and information systems. So let's move on to some examples. So online banking. So Airbnb lets people book rooms directly bypassing hotels. So that is a good example that we can go for our uh, online banking when it comes to the information system, as well as apps like Revolut allows managing money without visiting a bank. So that's also an example for mobile banking apps. So not only that, we can say that we can identify why alignment is important. So information system must fit strategy to add value. So misaligns information system waste money. So that is about how this we have to identify how we can use this information system for get a good advantage through this information system. So that's about how why alignment is important. Uh, so if we are not align our information system correctly, it's a real waste. So as well as we have to find with our strategy, we have to align our information system correctly also. So when it comes to the challenges in alignment, what are the challenges that we can identify in alignment? Uh, so there can be change goal as well as technology, uh, as well as companies must. So therefore, companies must adapt consistently. It means we have to change according to the market changes as well. If the market is changing rapidly, we also have to look at their changes and we have to do the same relevant changes to uh, be the same be a competitive competitive business in the market. If not, we will be automatically getting fail in that industry. So so if we are not aligned with uh, we if we are not aligned with our uh, IES or information systems, we are really uh, getting a bad competition in the industry as well. So when it comes to the role of IT managers, what is the role of IT managers? So ensure IS meets strategy and support business growth. So we have to identify how uh, how we can use the information system with to our benefit, and we know that information systems are always used by the people. So these people need to identify how we can use this information system correctly for gain a competitive advantage in the organization. So when it comes to the role of IT managers in the information system, it's a crucial for ensuring that technology aligns with business goals as well as systems run efficiently and data is secure and properly used. So they act as strategic planners as well as we can say they are sometimes technical leaders as well as team managers also. So the first key role that IT managers in that information system is that they act as a strategic planning and uh, alignments. So they helps for the strategic planning and alignments. So they ensure that IT and information systems support the strategic goals of the organization. So they align IES with business processes and objectives. So that is how these IT managers um, help with uh, information system. So the example that we can get is IT managers in the retail companies align the ERP systems to manage inventory and supply chain more efficiently to reduce the cost and improve services. So the second IT manager are doing they are helps in system implementation as well as management. So they lead the planning, selection as well as deployment and maintenance of the information system. So they evaluate the implementation software solution as well. So they manage, as an example, we can say that they manage the rollout of a new payroll system to streamline the HR function. So that is an example we can say when it comes to the system implementation and management. So the third IT managers are use these information systems to security as well as risk management. So they ensure data privacy as well as cybersecurity as well as the regulatory compliance as well. So they implement firewalls as well as access controls and backup systems also. So the example that we can say for that is so they managing cybersecurity measures to prevent data breaches in a healthcare information system. So that's how the IT managers help in the security and risk management. So when it comes to the project management, how IT management helps in this project management. So they plan, execute, as well as monitor this information technology as well as information systems such as projects using tools like agiling or waterfalls. So as well as they set timelines, as well as assign tasks, as well as manage resources, as well and budget also. So managers always leading a project to integrate a cloud-based accounting system across the department is an example when we come to the how the IT management helps in this information system. So as well as their IT managers are doing team leadership as well as communication in the information system also. So they lead teams of developers, analysts as well as support staff. So, so they bridge the communication gap between technical teams as well and business stakeholders. So, as an example, we can say they explain technical requirements to execute and translating business needs to developers. So, the other role that the IT managers are doing in information system is the vendor and technology managers. So they evaluate and manage relationship with IT vendors and service providers. So not only that, they stay updated with emerging technologies and recommended upgrades also. So that's how these IT managers doing their roles in this information system. So I hope you all understand how these IT managers doing their role in information. We identify some roles that they are doing in organizations such as strategic planning and alignment, system implementation and management, as well as security and risk management, and they helps in project management also, as well as they mainly focusing on team leadership and communication as well. So those are the roles that IT management managers helps in information systems for organization success. So hope you are so let's move on to the next. So, what is the role of top management? So, they invest in information system as well as so they set goals as and guide projects without support. So, without support, the top management helps the IS will be fair. So, that's how the top management role also helps in information system. We all know that top management always set goals for the organization, as well as they are the person who invest for this information system. So they are not like to see their systems will be fair. So therefore they guide the project as well. So when it comes to the IES strategic planning process, so there are some strategic planning process steps that we need to identify in this IES strategic planning. So what are the steps that we need to identify? So when it comes to the first step is the study needs. So we can basically say that it is analysis and the understanding. So we have to understand the organization's current situation and identify the problems. And define what's the business need from the information system. So the key activities that we, in the first step, we are going to identify is the study business goal. First, we have to study the business goal as well as strategies as well as the processes, as well as we have to identify the what is the steps that we have in inefficiencies as well as gaps or challenges in the current system. Not only that, we have to identify the consult with stakeholders like managers as well as employees for the first step of studying needs. So, uh, as an example, we can say that a retail company wants to improve the inventory tracking, so they have to study and reveal the frequency stock out and outdated manual system. So that's the first step in this information system strategic planning process. So then we move on to the second step. So second step is the design system. So design system is the planning and architecturing. So the main objective of this step is to design a system that meets the identified needs and align with strategic business goals. So there are also that we can identify some key activities. So the main key activity is the define the system features and requirements. Why we are going to, we already identify the uh, study needs. So then we have to define system features and requirements. What are the features that we need to add to that system, as well as what is the requirement that we are going to fulfill. That is the key activity in this step, as well as we identify the technology as well as the software platform also. Not only that, we identify the data structure as well. So the main thing, and we plan system architecture also. How we already identified there are some uh, in information system there are hardware, software, networks. So we have to plan the system architecture. So we have to identify what are the hardwares we are using, what are the softwares we are using, networks, so as well as people, databases. So in the second stage, so we can say that designing a web-based inventory systems that includes real-time stock updates as well as supplier portal as well as reporting dashboards is a example for this second step of design system. So then we move on to the third step. So its third step is build. So it's mainly refer to the development and procurement. So in this development procurement stage, we are going to develop or acquire the information system components as per the design. So we are going to software development or customizations, as well as we have to purchase hardware as well as we have to install them. So not only that, we have to integrate with the existing system and data migration also. So the IT team builds the system in-house or procedures. A customized ERP system for the vendor is the example for this development and procurement. So then we move on to the fourth step. So in the fourth step, we have to test and deploy. So that's the step we are going to implement our system. So we have to ensure the system works correctly and it's deployed successfully into the organization also. So the main activities that we can identify in this stage is to conduct system testing, as well as we have to train users and provide documentation, as well as go live with the system also. So as an example, we can say that the inventory system is tested with selected stores before launching across the entire chain. So we have to go for a test without implementing into the entire chain. So the As the fifth and the last uh, step, we have to review regularly or monitor and improvement. So we know that we have to continue monitor the system as well as the performance to identify any improvements that we have to do to our system. So if there are any improvements, we can make improvements as needed. So we have to measure performance measurements using KPIs, as well as we have to collect user feedback and analyze system usage as well. So we can fix issues and update features as business needed uh, evolve. So that's about the fifth step. So we can easily say we have to monthly review show the system reduce stocks by 40%, but so user feedback and suggest improve the mobile access. So because of the because of the monthly review, we can easily identify there are stock out by the 40%, so we can easily suggest and improve a mobile access for that. So that's how we can identify this plan information system strategic planning process. So um, hope you all understand what are the steps in this information system strategic planning process. So let's move on to the example for that. So ERP system is a one example for information system. So ERP integrated all function. So SAP is a one ERP system. So is used by Coca-Cola for financial and supply chain. So SAP is a one ERP system that most of companies are currently using. So the Coca-Cola use this SAP for the financial and supply chain. So what are the risks in IS projects? So what are the risks that we can identify in this information system project? So we can easily say it's cost overruns, as well as there are many hackers, as well as there can be system failures that we can experience in information IS projects. So information system are high in cost, as well as there are it can be easily it can be hacked by third party or other unauthorized parties, as well as there can be system failures. So as an example, we can say that target's data breach is one example that we can consider as the information system risk. So how we can reduce this information system risk? So we have to plan with, as well as we have to train our users also. Uh, Not only that, we have to secure our system, as well as we have to test thoroughly. So those are the things we can do in reduce our information system risk also. So let's move on to how we can emerge the technologies uh, in this information system. We can use cloud, as well as big data, as well as AI change. So AI. So they change the business. So as an example, Google Cloud, as well as Amazon Avers is a main example that we can give for the emerging technologies. We identify what are the risks that we can have in information system. Then we can identify how we can reduce our risk. So we can mainly use cloud, as well as AI, as well as big data for our uh, IS success, information systems success. So what are the impact of cloud computing? So we can identify this is one of um, uh, help for our organization when it comes to the cloud computing. So we can easily access data anywhere, as well as it's having a lower IT cost, So we can say that as an example, Dropbox store files online. So that is an example that we can give for this cloud computing. So, as well as what is the role in big data? When it comes to the role of big data is it analyze huge data sets. So Spotify suggests songs you might like. It's a one example we can give for the big data. So we identify that this AI also is a one IS improvement. So it automates tasks as well as we can say that as an example, chatbots answer customer questions instantly. So AI gives more benefit to their world. So in artificial as the information system also this artificial intelligence uh, plays a big role as well. So, so we have to protect our information system from our third parties. So cybersecurity as a strategy. So we have to consider this cybersecurity as a strategy for information system. So uh, we can use the cybersecurity to protect our sensitive data as well as uh, we can use the cybersecurity to uh, manage the privacy as well. So, as an example, we can say bank invest heavily in information system security. So, uh, banks are having a lot of uh, data that they have to protect. So if the data go to a unauthorized party, the bank will fail in its collapse. So they banks uh, invest heavily in this information system security. So if they have purchased some uh, law, it means some kind of not good information systems for their bank, it will um, it will not giving a good security for their bank. So they have invest heavily in their information system security. So we can identify Netflix as a case study in this information system. So Netflix use these information systems to stream videos, analyze viewing data, as well as personalized suggestions. Also, so the because of that, Netflix have better competition among their competitors as well as they get more benefit through using this kind of information systems as well. So another example that we can give is the Uber. So Uber use information systems to match riders as well as and drivers as well as information systems helps in calculating fares as well as tracks the cars also. So that's how this information systems helps in Uber. So Zara is a fashion industry company. So information systems helps in Zara for fast design and restocking as well as these information systems helps in new trends and reach store quickly. So that's how the information systems help in Zara for their competitive benefits also. So we can say that information system must match company goals. So it helps cut cost as well as it helps in growing and they mainly helps in the competition also. That's how information systems helps different ways for their organization success. So hope you all understand today's lecture. So thank you.